We're constantly told, manage your time better. But here's the question, what does that really mean? Is time something we can manage? Or is the very idea of time management a modern illusion? We all live under the same clock, but our experiences of time couldn't be more different. Some feel it's slipping through their hands. Others try to dominate it with productivity hacks. But in the end, are we in control of time, or merely subject to it? Let's question everything we think we know about time. Let's start here. When we say we waste time, what exactly are we wasting? Minutes? Hours? Potential? Pleasure? A professor once asked his students, "How much time do you waste each day?" Answers ranged from 2 to 6 hours. But no one could define what wasting time really meant. Is watching a movie a waste? Is scrolling through social media a waste? Is daydreaming? The Stoics believed that wasted time was any time spent without virtue or purpose. But who defines purpose? Perhaps what we call wasting time is actually a reflection of values we haven't yet clarified. If we don't know what matters to us, how can we say what's truly wasted? We speak of time as though it's a personal resource. My time. Your time. Don't waste their time. But isn't that a bit presumptuous? Time isn't something we own. It flows with or without our permission. So is it really accurate to say we spend it? Ancient philosophers like Plotinus saw time as an illusion, just a measure of change, not a thing in itself. So when we speak of managing time, what are we really managing? Our actions? Our intentions? Or just our anxiety? Maybe what we're seeking isn't time control, but existential control. Control over our fleetingness, our mortality. If that's the case, are productivity systems helping us, or distracting us from the real issue? Why do we feel so guilty for doing nothing? Modern life glorifies being busy. But is activity always synonymous with meaning? Think about it. A person may work 10 hours a day and still feel empty. Another might lie under a tree for an hour, reflecting deeply, and feel utterly fulfilled. So where does the guilt come from? Maybe we've internalized the transactional view of existence, that unless we're producing or achieving, we're somehow failing. But can a life be meaningful if it's constantly evaluated by what gets done? Maybe the real question isn't, am I wasting time? But, am I living it? Discipline is often framed as self-control. But is that all it is? The philosophers saw discipline not as denial, but as alignment between actions and values. So when we force ourselves to work or study, is that discipline? Or is it obedience to fear, of falling behind, of being judged? Can true discipline exist without inner clarity? And what if our so-called laziness is actually a symptom, not of weakness, but of misalignment, of chasing goals we don't actually believe in? Before you schedule your time, maybe ask, do I know what I'm scheduling it for? Many self-development systems encourage us to envision the future, write it out, plan it, build a roadmap. But is that really how life works? We often say we're afraid of change. But is that really true? Or are we afraid of facing our limitations? Some philosophers argue that the refusal to act isn't fear, it's clarity. A quiet recognition that some things simply don't matter to us. So when we procrastinate, is it laziness? Or rebellion against the life we didn't consciously choose? Not every hesitation is a flaw. Sometimes it's a signal. A philosophical question in disguise. Before forcing yourself to change, ask, change into what? And why? Is this pressure coming from within, or from a culture obsessed with improvement for its own sake? Can we truly author the future? Or are we just comforting ourselves against the unknown? Existentialist thinkers like Sartre believed we create meaning through choices, not predictions. So yes, envisioning the future might provide direction. But does it guarantee fulfillment? And here's the tension. If we don't plan, we drift. But if we overplan, we may close ourselves off to chance, spontaneity, even grace. Maybe the art of living is found somewhere between direction and openness. Between the future we imagine and the future we let unfold. So here we are. We began by asking whether we manage time, or whether time manages us. And maybe the answer is both. We are shaped by time, but we also shape its meaning by how we choose to spend our days. Time will pass, no matter what. But philosophy invites us to ask the deeper question, not, how do I manage time, but, what do I value enough to give my time to? Because once that question is answered, the rest begins to fall into place. Until then, perhaps it's okay to pause, to question, to let time breathe, while we figure out what it means to truly live it. Do you think time can actually be managed, or are we just managing ourselves? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoy deep questions, not just quick answers.